Hi everyone, it's Bren here and welcome to this week's garden update. Located here in my cottage garden in New South Wales, Australia, and it's an absolutely beautiful summer's day here, so let me show you around. Starting off here over at the side gate, and everything is looking so green. The ground is covered in little seedlings, and down here I have lots of borage, and there's more there that are a bit larger growing underneath the corn. Opposite the corn I have some of my succulents on display. In front of them in this container I have some gladioli, and one of them is in flower. I might pick this off this week and bring it inside. I was just standing there at the side gate. Now I'm over here looking at this part of the garden with the corn. Plenty of little seedlings popping up everywhere. These are all borage here, and I'm hoping that they'll grow up and last right through autumn into winter. Up there against the shed I have a lot of cosmos over there, lots of different plants self-seeding, and you can see I have to come in here and do a bit of weeding because I've got lots of grass as well. Plenty of bean plants there growing around the fort. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how it's filling out. At last, finally, it's starting to look good. Have couple of rhubarb plants, some zinnias here as well, and particularly like this one. Really big flower heads, really nice colour. There's another plant that I want to show you over here. It's I was given the seeds last year and it's self-seeded. It's this one here, which is an ornamental tobacco plant. Probably one of the great things about it was I didn't actually have to sow any seeds here. They just all popped up. Over here I've got my two polygala plants by the entryway where this archway is, and then over there I've got the Anthony Parker salvia. You can see the cosmos are right down the back here. But this is what's quite interesting. Here are some beans I sowed a few weeks ago, and they are doing fantastically. They're starting to climb up the archway, and I'm excited to get a nice harvest off them, and they seem completely untouched by slugs and snails. This week we had this really freak kind of storm type windy gusty weather event. I don't really know what to call it exactly, but it did a little bit of damage in the garden. It knocked over some of these corn plants here, but elsewhere it took down a couple of branches off the larger trees, and it also took down part of a fence. You might remember that I had a pumpkin plant that's self-seeded in between the pots, and here it is, and look how much it has taken off. Some of my tomato plants in the raised garden bed area are starting to show some signs of disease. You can see in here, like on this plant here, I need to come in and give it a trim because I don't want that to spread to the other plants. And I'm not too far off now harvesting some of these tomatoes. I noticed that a few of them are starting to get a bit of colour to them. For example, over here with this tomato plant, I have some that are probably ready to harvest actually. And I noticed there's some more over here as well. And this one here needs a bit of a trim. This is the Berkeley tie-dye. Absolutely beautiful looking tomato. You can see one there in the bag with its lovely kind of stripes. I am planning on doing a garden harvest of tomatoes as soon as they ripen up, so it won't be too long and I'll dedicate a whole video to them. So I'm going to head down towards the back of the garden and we'll take a quick look there. It's almost time for the sun to set here. It was so hot and humid here again today, and it's expected to be like that now for the next few days. So it's actually quite pleasant to be out here at the moment with a nice cool breeze. I noticed underneath the orange tree where I had a few gaps between the nasturtium plants that I have a lot of little seedlings that have popped up by themselves, and they will grow on now right through autumn time and fill out this space once again like it did last year. So it's covered in a blanket of beautiful nasturtium leaves and flowers. Down over this way, past the ornamental grass that seems to be greening up again, I have some of my cucumber plants. So these ones are pickling cucumber here, and these are the Armenian striped cucumbers. I have already done one thinning out of the seedlings, but I do need to do another one because there's way too many in there. And beside them I noticed that those zinnia seeds that I threw in this section are starting to germinate. Over here, past the perennial basil that the bees absolutely love, you may notice that the flowers in this section have filled out a lot more compared to last week. I think I may have spoken too soon about the cockatoos and birds eating my sunflowers, because you can see that one over there has been nibbled on the edge, and if you look down here at this one, the top has been taken off. But yet again, like the other one I showed you last week, I do have lots of more buds appearing because I have sown a lot of the multi-flowering sunflowers. So although the top one's gone, I'll have lots more here that will bloom very shortly. Here are a few more zinnias which self-seeded from last year. I'm really enjoying these flowers. This area got hit a bit by that storm I had mentioned. I'll go and show you now, but before we go in there, look at this. These are some beans, and every single one of them, well, it looks like every single one of them has germinated. These ones here that I grew, the stringless blue lake beans. And yeah, I've got like them all germinating now. So I don't know, I might have to thin them out, or I might transplant some of them over to the bean fort. In the very corner of our property, we have this Grevillea robusta tree, which is a beautiful Australian native, but one of the branches up the top broke off during the storm, and it crushed a lot of plants in here. I don't even know why I'm laughing, but you know, that's just what happens when you garden. Here's the main branch of that tree that came off. So it ripped out this amaranth and some other little plants around here. Here's some of the branches that we had to cut up. So the branch actually went into two of my neighbours' properties. I've got lovely neighbours, so got that cleared up. It was no problem. Here's a row of my dahlias. And you know, the dahlias are just really struggling this year. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any flowers, but at least the tubers are still alive, and I might end up just having to dig these up in autumn time and save them again for next year. Something I haven't shown you, which I thought was really exciting, is that I have this, which I think is a acacia or a wattle, that's actually self-seeded. I didn't plant this here, and it just self-seeded here. So behind me where I'm standing is one of these trees, and maybe one of the seeds just germinated there, but that's kind of exciting, and I'm going to leave it there because I think a little tree there would look quite nice. I'm going to head off for now. I know this video isn't as long or as planned out as I usually have them. There's just been a lot going on this week. My children have gone back to school, and my youngest child is starting primary school. So I've been a little bit emotional as well about that. But next week I want to do, you know, a decent sized video, and I'm going to do a garden harvest as well. So watch out for that one. I hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you next Friday.